All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. December 1st, 2018. And I'm very excited about what is going on in the world right now, and especially after receiving that news this morning. And I believe that news this morning, Benny talked about it in the video that I posted, and the audio that he did also his last show. If you haven't watched it, it's on the channel. And then I did a video this morning on my main channel, and I believe that, that G20 meeting and then that sacrifice of George Bush Sr., that is a break in the system. And the reason why is because he is the leader of us not receiving our wealth, because he is a leader of the new world order. He is the puppet leader, as I could call it, because there's people higher than him. He was just the puppet master. Okay, but he is the one of the guys that was leading the way for the new world order, so we wouldn't see our wealth transfer, because you can't have a new world order and you give people all this wealth. That makes no sense. That goes against the new world order. Okay, so because he is gone, that new world order of his dies out, right? And so there's a new group of people that are going to be taking control, right? But so that's another break in the system. It's a break in the new world order system that can shift the currencies, okay? Because now you don't have that backing. Now these corrupt governments they lost a big key of their backing, of why they stay corrupt. Okay, so interesting that it happened during this weekend. I was waiting for something to happen this weekend. I was thinking, look, these guys are getting together for one last time. We're going to see some type of, currency or whatever, revaluation. We better see some type of sign this weekend with all these elites getting together, and we got that sign. Okay, so we got the sign I wasn't looking for George Bush Sr., but we got a sign. We got a breakthrough sign. Okay, so that's good. And also the CBI here has added the 3 zeros. So they have added the 3 zeros. It was 1190. They've added .000. They've added the 3 zeros again. Okay, so I remember them having this before, and then they took it off, and then now they're back at it again. I guess when Shabibi was in the helm, they had it there, and then when they realized they weren't going to be doing it, and they took it off, and they just had 1190. So now it's back. They got .000, and so that means that once you drop these zeros here, and you can go to like 120. You'll have the cents and the pennies and cents and dimes and nickels and things like that, or fractional banking or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's interesting to see that they went from 1190 to 1190.000 today. I think it's today or last night, the same time frame when George Bush Sr. passed away. So kind of interesting on that note. Moving on from there. It says economists, U.S. Treasury is exerting pressure to keep the central bank governor in office. We don't care if he stays in office. America shouldn't care about if he stays in office or not. They should care about him releasing and changing that value and bringing out the small notes and coins. That's all we care about. Keeping him in office means nothing if he's not going to return Iraq to the international stage with the full currency revalued. Okay, and so we don't care about that. We care that he's going to release the lower notes and the coins. Now, Abadi is probably looking at Alaq and saying, "Bro, they want to kick you out, and you're sitting there like." You don't, like, what's going on? Like, you have the green light right now. You have the green light right now to release the notes, the small notes and the coins, and revalue the currency. That's what a body's probably looking at a lot. Like then, Abdul Mahdi, he just got in, so he doesn't know what's going on. But Abadi is probably looking at Alaq like, what are you waiting on? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're going to you put your name on those notes, you put your signature on those notes, and you're sitting here waiting instead of making your move. Okay, so it's just very weird, and I think maybe Ali Alaq is waiting for the government to be seated, the full cabinet to be seated, or to be announced from Abdul Mahdi. Maybe he is. And that's expected on Tuesday. We don't know because there's going to be a lot of fighting going on to make sure that does not happen because they don't want it to be a full cabinet of technocrats because that's another break in the system. Okay, so maybe that's what maybe Ali Alak is waiting on is the full cabinet government of Mahdi. I don't know. I don't know why you would be waiting, especially when they have threatened to kick you out of this position. I have no clue why he'll be waiting this long. Do it and get out. How about that? And just go relax with Dr. Shabibi. Go to Switzerland. You don't have to stay in Iraq. Go live in Switzerland. Go travel the world. Go have a good time. Do it and get out. You know what I mean? And America would and Iraq would point somebody else. Okay, and they'll continue it. Okay, so do it and then get out, and then have somebody else continue it. Dr. Shabibi will be able to guide that next person, and Ali Alak could also guide that next person while they're in Switzerland. You don't have to be there to guide people. You can do it over over the phone and FaceTiming and all the technology that we have now. You don't have to be there to guide somebody. Okay. Um, so yeah, it says the Iraqi government to review the law, blah 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 blah, and the central bank. And it says that they reduced the powers of the central bank. When did they do that? I thought the central bank was independent. Did they reverse that independence of the central bank? I don't know. I didn't see that. I thought the central bank's independent. So how do you reduce the powers of the central bank if they're independent? You cannot reduce the powers of the central bank if they're independent. So something's wrong with that. I'm not sure what's up with that. Is the central bank independent or not? And that's the key right there, right? Also impose restrictions on the banking and economic transitions. Okay, so yeah, we need to we they need he needs to release those small notes, and he needs to release the coins, and he needs to release the value, point blank and simple, because they're trying to get him out and America's trying to fight to keep him in. And I'm like this. I don't care if he stays or go. Just do it. Just do it before you leave. Okay, just do it before you leave, because we thought Abadi was gonna do it before he left, and Abadi's like, I gave him the green light to do it before he left. That's why I accepted the articles of the 1,000 note, the 500 and 250 notes, and they only got the 1,000 notes in the banks, and the 250 and the 500 haven't gone into the banks yet, and the small notes aren't out yet. I gave him permission to do it, and he's not doing it. So so that's probably what's happening as well. So I don't know, guys and girls. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's just crazy right now. But it is what it is. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to be shocked here before my birthday. In my opinion, I think this is a year that we see the big things of the fiat currencies. Just like last year, we saw the Bitcoin and all coins go crazy. I think it's time for the fiat currencies to go crazy as well. And the next year we could see silver go crazy, and the next year after that we could see gold go crazy. So let's see what happens. All opinions of mine, just running through my head right now. There's so many different opinions that we all could create in our minds is right now. Okay, it says, what did Abadi reveal after he stepped down from power? Well, one of the things he revealed was that there was a small group. There's a small group of managed people who control the Iraqi government. Okay, there's a small group of people that control there, and we already know who those people are. It's Maliki and his goons. I mean, that's it. That's only, and we keep telling the same thing over and over again. And interesting that Abadi's talking about this now, because why didn't he say something while he was as prime minister? He didn't want to get in trouble. You're prime minister. Like, who cares? Like, say something. and he just never said anything. He just stayed quiet, knowing that he was being controlled. And that's the problem with all these people, is that they get in there and then they realize they're being controlled. Okay, and when they're not, and when they're acting like Donald Trump, then it's game on. They, the elites and the people that control, that's supposed to be controlling you, they go straight to the media to destroy your name, right? And that's what we saw with Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump didn't want to be controlled, we're going to control the narratives through the media about you. We're going to make sure that you look like a scumbag, okay? And so that's what happens in the politics, right? So Abadi was being controlled by Maliki, his puppets, his goons, and the secret societies, the Bole and all the other people that are part of the secret societies. They were controlling Abadi. This is why we didn't see the revaluation. So Abadi's saying that right now. There's small groups that manage to control the Iraqi parliament decisions and buying votes and paying the money. So there you go. So we don't want to see that in Abdul Mahdi's government. And that's why they're trying to kick, that they're not trying to do that. And right now, Abdul Mahdi's cabinet does not have any corrupt, people from the past, right? They have technocrats. It's all technocrats and people that know how to do their job, right? And now that's why they're battling for these last two positions here. The defense minister, I think there's like 6 positions, or 6 or 7 left, I think. But the defense minister and the interior are the ones that Maliki and his goons and the puppets, the Satanists are trying to control those 2 positions. Okay, so that's what's going on right now, and many people in the government are rejecting it because they don't want the quota system. They want a full technocrat government, and that would be a break in the system as well. Okay, so I think Sauter and Abadi talked about that in an interview, in a conversation. They talked about how Abdul Mahdi's government is without quota and without the corrupt people. It's all technocrats right now, and we need to keep it that way and get the last people in that are fully technocrats. And this is why Maliki and all his people are going absolutely crazy, because they cannot afford for Abdul Mahdi's cabinet to be fully technocrat, because then they're in trouble. Okay, they're in big trouble. Their lives are on the line. This is why they're fighting with tooth and nail, because their lives are on the line. Okay. He talked about the liberation of the terrorism, which was an achievement of his, and he'll get that credit. He'll get the credit for being the guy who led the way for the liberation of Iraq from the ISIS terrorists. So he'll get that credit. So he's not going to get the credit of the revaluation or the freeing of their giving the wealth back to his people. He's not going to get that credit. He's going to get the credit for the liberation of ISIS. Okay, so he says here that he rejected the position of vice president. So we were talking about that. He was offered vice president and he was offered foreign minister, and he's rejected both of them. So foreign affairs he rejected, vice president he rejected. So he's no longer going to be part of the government, and that's because Sauter and Sauter has stated that they don't want former people that are in the hands of corruption to be part of the new government. They want it full of the technocrats and people that are actually that have done good to the government. Okay, and anybody that's involved with any type of scandals or corruption should not be part of the government. Okay, so I guess Abadi rejected those positions. He also talked about the most important decision was to launch the battle of liberation of Fallujah and Mosul. He says, okay, I can't. For me personally, he was being controlled, so he couldn't release the wealth for his people. And Abdul Mahdi is not, in my opinion, Abdul Mahdi is it's going to be opposite of Abadi. He's not. He might be controlled by Iranian a little bit, but Iranian actually need them to lift the value because they're under sanctions, right? So it's going to be in his favor anyways. But he's not because his government might be, because we still have to get these last people in. His cabinet and his government are going to be filled with people that are technocrats. He has a chance, Abdul Mahdi, to do really good things, and be avoided out of corruption, corrupt hands, and people like Maliki and Amiri and all these people that are rejecting all this will have no power if he completes his cabinet with nothing but technocrats. They lose all their power, and that's the key. Okay, and that's why they're fighting so hard to make sure one of their guys gets in there, and they're not going to stop until one of their guys gets in there. This is why the CBI governor should just lift the value right now, and then Maliki and them wouldn't even care anymore because it's too late. They're trying to do it so they won't lift the value and bring prosperity into the land of Iraq. But if Ali Alaq just lifts the value now, who cares? Like Maliki be like, oh, they already done it. Let me go to Iran and then go hide for a little bit and then come back with Iranian forces to invade Iraq in the future. That's why it's going to be a short window of prosperity in Iraq, because they're going to come with Iran to invade Iraq because they're going to be so jealous of the wealth that Iraq has. Okay. Let's see here. It says Deputy Abadi coalition says that Abdul Mahdi in front of two options. One of the resignation or disclosure of these bodies. Okay, they're talking about the cabinet members, right? Get the cabinet members out, man. It's been forever. You should already have your cabinet in place, and he doesn't. So, Abdul Mahdi said by Tuesday he will announce. Hopefully, he has the names to go, and I think tonight and tomorrow they're discussing those names now. So we'll see how that plays out, how that goes. All right, so let's see here. Says expert Abdul Mahdi threatens to dismissal. We've heard this many times, and we know where this comes from. It comes from Maliki Rand media, and so here we go again with another threaten to dismissal. There's no prime minister that is threatening to dismissal, right? I'm gonna leave. No, you know what I mean? For constitutional violation. Here we go again. This is all Maliki media. When you hear stuff like that, you know what it is. You know it's Maliki media. So you just leave it alone and you just continue on. Okay. So it says here, Rafidian issues clarification on personal advances to MasterCard holders. All right. That has nothing to do with us. But they're talking about the MasterCards, the Visa cards, electronic banking. So all that's good for the citizens and the future of the citizens. That alone should tell anybody that's in doubt. That alone right there should tell you that they're coming back to the international world. Because what country that is like that is coming, it's what country that is wants to stay depleted, wants to stay in program rate is having the Visa card, MasterCards, electronic banking and stuff like that. That's your sign right there that they're coming back to the international world fully, and they're going to remove the program rate because here's MasterCard, here's Visa. Visa and MasterCard aren't coming there to waste their time on a program rate. Okay. Wisdom says here that the remaining cabinet members will be presented in Tuesday's session. Some are looking for personal interest. Of course they are. And we know who those people are. Those people are the evil, corrupt people that want to have at least one or two other people in power so they can continue their corruption and they can spoil everything else. They can make everyone else corrupt by basically. It says next Monday, Abdul Mahdi threatens to use the red card or national option to complete his government. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if he needs to do that. If he needs to do that, that would be awesome as well, especially if he keeps them in technocrat, right? If he keeps them in the technocratic roles, Like, if they can't figure something out, and he says, I'm going to use my red card, I'm going to use my executive order, and I'm going to name these people, and they're all technocrats, then that would be awesome as well. Of course, his life will be threatened immediately because the corrupt do not want that to happen. But if he does do it, that would be another break in the system. And then we will definitely know that Maliki and his goons are going to come back with Iran to invade, because they would feel like they were slapped in the face, right? Okay, next up is it says top and big investment economy in Iraq. Basically, this I'm guessing is this building right here. Says investment authorities of Baghdad announced on Saturday investing the highest and largest glass ball in Iraq. Okay, so yeah, we saw the pictures of the the skyline in Iraq, in Baghdad was blue, was turned on, and was like, okay, that's a sign. That's a sign too. You know what I mean? That things are about to go really well here in Iraq. Okay, and then it says here, urgent 6 ministers will be decided in the next meeting, and the security ministers will be left to agree. So they're going to decide on 6, and then they still have the defense minister left to agree. So they still have this thing. I'm hoping everything is done on Tuesday. But either way, I'm hoping that Ali Alaq just makes a move and says, you know what, they're threatening my job. Let me get this done. Release the notes. What's so hard about releasing the notes? Like, your job's on the line, and you put your name on. You signed the notes. Release the notes. What you want them to do? You want to sign them? You want to sign the notes and have the notes out there, and then all of a sudden they out you out of your job, and then they just burn all those notes and they create new ones, and there's your opportunity's gone, right? To be a legend, because that's what he wants to be, right? But he needs to release the notes. Release the notes with your names on it, and then it'll be ever forever that the wealth of the people came back on your name. I'm sitting here in America, and we all are agreeing on the same thing. Release the notes if you want to be a legend, Ali Alaq. How hard is that? But he refuses to write down, and I'm hoping that this week he releases the notes. All right, so that's it. I can talk all day long, and I'm not, because my voice is getting harsh, and there's no point to. We're just gonna wait and find out to see what happens this week. You know me, I like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but it can happen at any time. And I want to see what happens with the cabinet, and I want to see what Ali Alaq does. America's fighting to keep him in there. If they remove him, God knows how long. That would be who would they put in? Number one. Number two, who knows the system of Dr. Shabibi? Unless Dr. Shabibi has somebody that he would put in that already knows. Maybe Mohammed Saleh. But that's not the guy that they said that they would put in, right? They were talking about some other guy that has no clue about anything. Like, that would be a major setback, right? Unless they put somebody in that has ties with the West, has ties with Iraq, but has been also behind the scenes trained with Dr. Shabibi and knows the system to go right ahead and do that. But at the same time, if you put him in, his name is not on the notes. And that's the problem. His name is not on the notes. He will not release those notes and change that value with Ali Alaq's name on there. Would you? I wouldn't, right? So I want my name on that. That's history. That Like, that's legendary status. So that's why Alaq needs to do what he has to do. He has to do it. And Abadi's probably sitting there like, dude, I gave you the green light. Go ahead and do it. They're about to kick you out. Like, it's unbelievable. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Eyes open. Peace out. Bye.